Hi, my name's Andy Penman from Display Technologies, and I'm here to give you a quick demonstration of our latest solution, Montage. Montage is a wireless presentation, communication, and collaboration solution all in one box that's designed to make your meetings as productive and as effective as they could possibly be. Montage does away with the need for any cables to allow you to connect your devices up to the front here on our presentation screen. And it also allows us to stream back up to 12 devices back to the people in the meeting, so everybody is on the same page and we can get decisions made quicker. And at the end of the meeting, we're going to use the time as effectively as possible to move our business on. So let's show you how Montage works by switching on the box. By switching on the Montage box, our Linux operating system will deploy, and it will do one thing. It will show us this splash screen we have here, and this screen is going to allow us to cleanly and quickly and easily be able to connect our devices to the Montage session. What we see here is the meeting ID in conjunction with a PIN that we can enable or disable. And it's important to say at this juncture that Montage has been built with your security needs in mind. All data is protected using a 2048-bit asymmetric key in conjunction with a 256-bit symmetric key. And all that means is we're using enterprise-grade encryption for protection of your data. Nothing stored on the box or in the cloud. We're going to be able to connect cleanly for your peace of mind. Once we have it up here, we'll be able to connect our devices by using these set of instructions here in the bottom left-hand corner of the splash screen. When it comes time to having people connect to the Montage session using the meeting ID, it's important to tell you that by switching on the box, you can run the box using its own access point, so people will connect directly to the box, or you can have that plugged into your corporate network, so people can connect to the Montage meeting by virtue of being on their network. Or we can offer both ways of connecting. So let's get some devices connected. Once we have the Montage meeting running, there's a number of quick and easy ways of being able to have your participants join the session, whether remotely connecting in from a different geographic location or whether physically in the room and joining locally. There's a number of ways of being able to join with whatever device they have. We have the Windows app, and we also have the web client, as well as utilizing devices' native technology like AirPlay and Miracast. So let's show you how we're going to join using the Windows app to start with. So by going to joinmontage.com, you'll be able to download the app, put your name in, put the session ID in that we saw earlier, and simply hit join. That will now present your device up onto the Montage meeting, and you'll be able to start contributing. You can also go to the web client, joinmontage.com. Again, you'll be able to put your name in, the session ID in, and do exactly the same, and join directly from the web. This will give me the option to be able to cast my entire screen, or whether I just want to cast one individual screen. So we'll just share entire screen and join the Montage. So now we have another device as part of the Montage meeting. The third way of being able to join the session is actually by using your device's own native technology. So Miracast if you're an Android device, or AirPlay for iOS. What this will allow you to do is present your content from your device just by using the native technology that's already on your device. So for Miracast, it's a case of hitting Quick Connect, and we'll just select the device from here and push our device up from here. The limitations of doing this are that we'll only be able to present one way. For the full experience, you really want the app or the web client. So we'll connect here using Miracast. For iOS, it's AirPlay. You'll put the session ID in, and you'll click OK from here. So we're literally just flicking up from the bottom, selecting the Montage box, putting in the session ID for security reasons, and now we can completely mirror our device and join the Montage meeting that way. Okay, now everyone's joined the Montage meeting. I have full access to everybody's screen. Everyone's able to connect without the use of any wires, and we're able to start the meeting when the meeting starts. We've got everyone's contribution ready to go, and everyone is able to be on the same page as we start moving through the meeting. If you're presenting from the front and leading the meeting, and you have a touchscreen in the meeting room, as we have here, Montage has been built with touch in mind. So all of these devices that are now displayed on the screen, and we can have up to 12 at a time. We have 6 on here. Each of these can be manipulated and maneuvered around the screen as I choose to move around the presentations. Very simple user interface that's going to allow me to view one screen at a time and flick to other screens and allow them to present. Or we may be in a scenario where we might have two people concurrently presenting ideas, maybe even on the same document. We can view two screens at a time to allow that to impact the meeting. Or we could see 3, 4, 5, or as many as 6 and flick to the other 6 if we do have 12 connected. So Montage has been built with touch in mind. So if you are presenting from the front, it's very simple to organize and arrange the content to hear from people when you need to hear from them. If you arrive at the point in the meeting where you want to hear from one participant in particular, and you are stood at the front with the touch screen, you do have the power to be able to manipulate and push one particular screen into what we call the active screen. Once you've done this, your other devices will sit off to the side here and be very easy to access and also bring them into the active screen just by pushing them in with this touch gesture control here. When you have a PC in active screen, we've built Montage to have PC control. So when we have our PC within active screen here, I actually have full mouse control of that wirelessly. So even though this device, it might be at the back of the room, as a presenter, I can leave my device, come up to the touch screen here, and start directing my presentation from the touch screen. So I can drive it from my device, or I can drive it from the front with the touch-enabled PC control. So this is me, mouse control over this particular PC as the other devices view this particular piece of content. Once we're ready to go back to view everybody's screen at the same time, it's very, very simple to go back into what we call montage mode, where we're going to see everybody's content all at the same time once again. So it's very easy for me to, without interrupting the flow of a meeting, draw quicker conclusions, fill information gaps, and make sure we make decisions as quickly and as effectively as possible. So this is all about being as productive as we can possibly be within the meeting space, being able to move in and out of any of this content and back in as we move and flow through the meeting seamlessly. If you do not have a touchscreen in your presentation room, you can simply plug a mouse into the box and take control of the Montage interface that way, if you wish to be the presenter at the center. Other things you can actually do when you move devices in and out of active screen mode, when we have this device into active screen mode, for example, I have full utilization of our annotation tools. So I can highlight, annotate, and draw people's attention from the front of anything that I need to using those tools. So one of the key features of Montage is throughout the meeting, it's not just the presenter at the center who can take control, present, and annotate from the front here. Everybody that's joined the meeting is a potential presenter. And they're going to be able to take control, collaborate, annotate, and do all the things that we could do if we were at the front of the room from their device using the Montage application. So if we just focus in on this guy over here, I'm going to take you through the toolbars here and show you how this person can collaborate, engage, and take control of the presentation as we go through. First and foremost, one of the first things we can do is we can actually make ourselves the presenter from this toolbar. So at any juncture, anybody connected to the Montage meeting has the ability with the app to become a presenter and push themselves into active screen mode. Once I'm in active screen mode, I have the ability to pause my screen if I wish to line up the next part of my presentation without anyone else seeing, or if I wish to block anyone from being able to have PC control over my device. So I have control over the content I'm presenting. As well as being able to elect when I can present my content, crucially, I can also receive anybody else's content from here and start interacting and collaborating with that content. So when anyone else is in active screen mode, we'll select one of our other participants here by going back to the map on the iPad. I can, from my device, choose to receive that active screen onto my device and start contributing and collaborating with that content. So here I have on my device now what we see on the presentation screen, the active screen, the iPad input. I have the annotation which we saw earlier from the presenter at the center at the front, and I can actually now contribute to this content myself. And I can add on my inputs, by using the same annotation tools, and you'll see them added to the main bulk of the presentation at the front. So now anyone in the session can wirelessly easily contribute to the session, and again force on the agenda, make decisions, give their input. Everybody in the room is an engaged member of the Montage meeting. At any point during the session as well, anyone can choose to save that content onto their device. So at any juncture throughout the meeting, anyone can take a save of the content. So I'm going to make sure I'm going to walk away with the notes that I need to at the end of that meeting in order to go and move the business on and make sure we've used that meeting time as effectively as possible. So everyone can contribute, everyone can annotate, everyone can become a presenter, and everyone can receive the active screen. Another feature we've included to help boost productivity and collaboration in the meeting space is a feature called File Share, which you'll find at the end of the toolbar here. This is File Share. Any point during the session, if I make myself the presenter, I can choose to send any file to anyone else within the Montage session. So let's say I get to the end of a meeting and I want everyone going away with the right version of a document. Or maybe we're starting a meeting and I want everybody on the right version of the document to begin the meeting. I can make that instantly available for everybody just by clicking on File Share here, picking out the file that we wish to share, in this case the spreadsheet, and by clicking on that spreadsheet. That's going to become instantly downloadable for everybody in the Montage session. Other features you're going to find on the Montage toolbar as a participant is the ability to be able to switch on your camera and share your webcam. Really useful if you're connecting remotely. You can also switch on your microphone for VoIP, so you can be seen and heard as you're engaging and collaborating throughout the session. So again, moving away from a passive end user within a meeting space. So this is me now switching on my camera, and you can see picture in picture. That's now available for anyone else to stream. As I present my content, I can be seen and I can be heard from my Montage toolbar. With more and more people working from more and more disparate remote locations, it's important that when you join the Montage session, you can join as a local participant, but also you can join in any of the ways we've shown you from a remote location. And you're able to share your camera and your microphone for audio as we've shown so far. So one of the things we'll do now is we'll ask Chris to join from his remote location, again by sharing the meeting ID and the PIN for security reasons. We're able to have Chris join and start sharing his content whilst being able to contribute on anyone else's content within the Montage session. So now we're looking at the part that Chris is now presenting. We can see him here presenting, talking, discussing, and we can start working on that content from here. So I can ask Chris, what it is that he thinks is important in this diagram, and any of our participants can now engage, save, make contributions, annotate, and receive that from any of their devices. So if we go back to our participant device here, who's connected locally, we can now see the session as it's running here with Chris's contributions, my contribution, which I might ask a question about what's going on here. And we're all on the same page, again with the idea of driving productivity and effectiveness in a meeting room and being able to get to decisions and push on the business agenda of that meeting quicker and more effectively than ever. The Montage box has 4 USB ports on it, and those can be utilized to plug in extra devices such as a webcam, which might be especially useful when you do have people connected remotely. We have a webcam on the top of the screen here, just pointed at me for this demonstration purpose, but I can very simply switch on that webcam by clicking on the camera button here, and that webcam will appear as essentially another device, and the content, the stream from that webcam can then be received by anyone connecting remotely and receiving that as their active display. So just to make that point, my device here, I can now receive my webcam footage directly here. So if you are connecting remotely and that camera is looking down at the presentation room, that person can feel like they're part of the meeting by seeing everybody in that meeting choosing to receive that active display. So by having someone join the Montage meeting from a remote location, that person's been able to feel included in the meeting. We can see them, we can hear them, we can see their contributions, we can save their contributions, and we can collaborate as if we were in the room together, naturally having that meeting physically. So in summation, by utilizing the Montage solution in your meetings, whether across the table or across the world, you're going to allow your peers to present, communicate, and collaborate on a whole ton of ideas from whatever content they need to, from whatever device they happen to have.